meetings matter. Meetings truly matter. Meetings done wrong can have tremendous cost to organizations, tremendous cost to individuals in terms of frustration, and even something called meeting recovery syndrome, which is the idea that when we have a bad meeting, we just don't shed it. It sticks with us, and sometimes we need to ruminate with others to try to get it off of ourselves. But meetings done right are incredible opportunities for organizations in terms of return on investment, innovation, employee engagement, all kinds of positive outcomes. So, who is responsible for meeting improvement? Yes, I can see by the show of hands, you recognize that each of us plays a critical role in making meetings better. But also, so does the organization through the systems it has in place. So let me speak to you a little bit about good organizational practices around meetings. So now what I want to do is share with you my top 10 evidence-based strategies for making meetings better. Number one, it starts with mindset. Those leaders who truly have a steward mindset, those leaders who recognize that as a leader of a meeting, you are a steward of others' time, those leaders do things differently. Once you have that self-perception that you're a steward, you start to think carefully about the meeting, whether the meeting should even occur, the types of approaches you want to do to address that meeting, and by having that mindset, you recognize that your job is to facilitate a meaningful experience. Your job is to make sure voices are heard. Your job is to make sure ideas are brought together and even at times have positive and constructive conflict around thoughts and perspectives. So that's the most important piece of advice. Second, go for the smallest number of people possible. We know that as meeting size increases, ineffectiveness also increases. Third, go for the shortest time reasonable given the goals of the meeting, and then even back it off a little bit. We know from research that human performance gets better with a little bit of pressure. So we need to think carefully, given the agenda of the meeting, how much time is needed. Let's not just default to an hour. Because after all, where does that hour come from? It's just the default standard on most calendar programs. So let's think more carefully about it. After all, we know Parkinson's Law to be a truism. And Parkinson's Law is this idea that time expands to whatever space is allotted to it. So if you schedule a meeting for an hour, lo and behold, it's going to take an hour. So we can use that to our advantage, right? We could decrease meeting lengths strategically, add a little bit of pressure, and then be able to return extra time back to individuals. And number four, don't be afraid to be unconventional at times. Good leaders evaluate their meetings periodically. We know from earlier in this presentation that research shows that leaders have a blind spot. Well, given that this blind spot exists, then it's our responsibility to try to check our thinking, to see whether our perceptions of meetings are aligned with everyone else's. And simple survey done through SurveyMonkey or Qualtrics, where you ask people of your regularly scheduled meetings what they think is going well, what's not going so well, and ideas for improvement could be an incredible mechanism for creating that alignment between what you perceive and what others perceive. So you take this and put it all together. We don't want to eliminate meetings. What we want to eliminate is bad meetings. Meetings done right can do so many amazing things for leaders and for organizations. And each of us, while we can't control other people's meetings, we can control our own meetings. We can make choices, we can be exemplars and be the example for others. And what's exciting is given how many meetings there are, millions each day, that even if we make just 20% of our meetings 20% better, the cascading positive impact is tremendous. At this point, I want to thank you. You've been a fantastic audience. If you want to hear more about the surprising science of meetings, or my book, or if you want to reach out with any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. Thank you again.